ahead of England's qualifiers against Andorra and Serbia. The World Cup starts in 279 days. Right, Jamie, if you're looking at the current squad, is there a problem area that you can see?
I mean, look, we've got some brilliant players in positions, but I think there are a lack of real world-class players, maybe at the back. I think the centre-half position, look, Mark Gay is, for me, nailed on now to be the main starter for them. I think alongside that, you know, you've got John Stones, who I love, is brilliant, but he picks up a lot of injuries. He's getting a little bit older. You know, I think if there is a problem area, a main problem area, I think it's probably at centre-half. I really do believe that because, you know, you look at Harry Maguire, done a great job for England, but he was always put under scrutiny. Where's the next world-class centre-half? Mark Gay, I think, is brilliant. I think he can be that guy. But the one alongside him, after John Stones, I don't know if there's one that really goes and stands out for me.
Well, let's get to our reporter, Rob Dorsett, who was with England over the next few days. And, Rob, I don't know if you heard what Jamie was saying there. He was talking about a weakness at centre-back. The current options in this squad are Mark Gahey, Dan Burn, Ezri Konsa, Jarell Quansah and John Stones. Do you think that could be an area of concern ahead of next summer?
Do you know what? I've spent a career trying to avoid agreeing with Jamie O'Hara, and I'm going to have to do it on this occasion. I think he's absolutely right. There's no doubt that that's England's weakest position. I think going forward, England are as good as any side in the world with their wide attacking options and Harry Kane, as long as he stays fit, up front. And then you've got Jude Bellingham probably just in behind them. And look at the options they've got at number 10. Jude Bellingham, Phil Foden, Cole Palmer, Ebere Eze. You know, they're absolute wealth of options there. They don't have the wealth of options at centre-back. So, yeah, I'm going to have to go with Jamie O'Hara on this one. England are as good as any side in the world going forward, but at the back, I've got concerns as well.
Rob, just with this Thomas Tuchel team, I'm yet to see a Thomas Tuchel team, if you know what I mean. It still feels like he's trying to find what his team's about. We're going to get to the World Cup, we know that. But I need to see something in these couple of qualifiers because, quite frankly, so far, it's been quite dull to watch.
Again, I've got to stop this. I've got to stop agreeing with Jamie O'Hara.
Don't agree.
Come on, come back. So far from Thomas Tuchel. Come back from the dark side. Listen, I think what you've seen so far from Thomas Tuchel is an awful lot of experimentation. I've got a pretty strong impression that Thomas Tuchel thinks the real business starts now. Remember, they've got 3 training camps, 3 international breaks with 6 matches back-to-back in September, October and November, and then he won't see the players again till March. So I was given a pretty clear impression that he would experiment a little bit in the early part of his reign, but now we're at the start of a World Cup season. This is where it'll look a little bit more settled. So, yes, I think you're right. Hopefully we'll start seeing an England side with a little bit more identity, maybe some firmer figures in the squad, less experimentation on the pitch and off it.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I think it bruised Thomas Tuchel an awful lot in the last camp in June. Albeit, we know June camps are terrible for England normally because the players are pretty exhausted after a long domestic season, which other clubs in Europe perhaps don't have the same sort of bruising impact. I'm not making excuses for them because a 1-0 lacklustre win over Andorra in Barcelona and a 3-1 defeat to Senegal at the City Ground was dreadful. And I think Thomas Tuchel was surprised how bad that was and surprised about the backlash he got from it. So expect him to go stronger from now. He's named a smaller squad, 25 players in this squad. And I think the interesting thing is midfield. I mean, I don't know what you think about midfield, Jamie, but he's still striving to try and find something in that midfield, I think. Look, we know that Jude Bellingham, if he picks his strongest starting 11 and everybody's fit, Jude Bellingham's number 10, Declan Rice is number 8. There's no doubt about that. But he's got real issues in trying to identify who that England defensive midfield player is. He called up Adam Wharton and Elliot Anderson for the first time in this camp. I think this is the camp where he was going to try and iron that problem out. Of course, Adam Wharton has now withdrawn because of injury, and he's called up Ruben Loftus-Cheek instead. So it'd be interesting to see what he does. Elliot Anderson has a massive opportunity to try and stake a claim in this camp, I think.
Is a solution, though, Rob, and we were talking about it on the show yesterday, is to put Rice deeper, Bellingham deeper, and then one of those several number 10s you've mentioned at number 10?
Absolutely it is, but Thomas Tuchel's made it very clear to me that he doesn't want to do that because he thinks Declan Rice's role with Arsenal has developed over the years, and it has. Declan Rice scores blinding free kicks. Look at what he did in the Champions League. Declan Rice, you see in the corner flag, putting a bit of skill and whipping a ball in from the wings.
Yeah.
Declan Rice is given a freedom for Arsenal, which brings out the very best in Declan Rice. And Thomas Tuchel has recognised that, and he doesn't want to change that. He doesn't want to shackle Declan Rice. So I think the idea of making Declan Rice a number 6 again, I don't think it'll happen. I think the problem is looking to try and replace him.
I think the problem you've got, Rob, and you're absolutely right. Declan Rice, I think, is a box-to-box midfielder now, but he's the only one with the awareness, with the leadership qualities, and the experience to say, you know what, I can sit in, I can be that player, and I can knit it all together. We haven't got England need an N'Golo Kante. They need a Caicedo. You know, that's what they need. They need one of them players who are going to sit there and be that player.
Do you know who can be that player? And you won't like it, I'll tell you, and England fans won't like it. Jordan Henderson can be that player.
Oh, do me a favour, Rob.
That's why Jordan Henderson keeps being... I knew you'd react like that, but it's why Jordan Henderson keeps getting picked by Thomas Tuchel, because he is that experienced defence. He is that experienced... Go on, how do you say?
Why do you disagree, Jane? You're not listening to what Rob says, so get your point over, then we'll let Rob have his go.
Jordan Henderson is not a holding midfield player. He is not someone who can sit there and, break up defence.
He is now, though.
But he's not. He's not. Come on, guys. We're talking about world-class international level. We're going to win a World Cup. You're telling me Jordan Henderson is going to be that guy? Listen, he's had an unbelievable career and he's a leader. I get it. And he's got qualities that he brings to the camp, and I can understand why he's there. But if you're talking about starting Jordan Henderson, in a World Cup year, to play holding midfielder, when I've just said that we need a Caicedo and an N'Golo Kante, come on, you're in cuckoo land. He can't. He's not a guy who can get around the park and bite and energy and break up play and make things happen. I mean, he's 35 and he's come on, guys, come on. We need to look past Jordan Henderson. He's in the camp because he's experienced and he's a good role model to younger people. You can't be starting Jordan Henderson thinking that we're going to win a World Cup.
Do you think he is going to start on, Saturday and maybe Tuesday as well, Rob?
Difficult to tell. It's very difficult to try and second-guess Thomas Tuchel. I think there's a strong chance. That's where he's used Jordan Henderson already on a number of occasions since he became England manager. And look, I'd go back to players like Didier Deschamps, the water carrier for France. In every side, there has to be somebody who does the dirty stuff. And I absolutely take Jamie O'Hara's point that Jordan Henderson doesn't have the legs to get around the pitch, perhaps, as he does. But somebody sitting in front of that defence, he could definitely do that role. I'll tell you one, I'll throw one other thing in for you, because the people I speak to have given me a pretty clear impression that Thomas Tuchel is thinking about potentially moving John Stones into that role. And I'll be really interested to see whether he tries it in this camp. And there was a little bit of a clue that was given to me, because Tuchel, when Adam Wharton pulled out, he called up Ruben Loftus-Cheek, but he called up Jarrell Quansah, another centre-back as well. And that said to me, that gives him the opportunity to get some cover for John Stones, so that maybe he can push John Stones a little bit further forward. We know how good John Stones is on the ball. We know how good he is at reading the game. We know how good he is with a defensive mindset. So actually, he's very, very suited to that role, and he's played it a few times for Manchester City. Could that be the answer? I don't know. I don't think there are answers at the moment in terms of England's number 6. Their defensive midfield options are very, very limited. Thomas Tuchel, I think, knows that's his weakest position. He's going to have a good look at it this camp, and it'll be interesting to see who he goes with. So I think, hopefully, he thinks he'll learn a lot more by the time we get to the end of these games against Andorra and Serbia.